Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing marvelously well. I'm here with the great Cameron Webb. How are you?
Hello, Warren. How are you?
Good. We're actually filming a new course. What's the punk band called?
It's called The Runaway Kids.
The Runaway Kids. It's a new band, a new recording, yes?
Newer band. They've been around a year or two, and they've been touring with Pennywise and the likeness of those kind of bands, strung out. And they're new and they're starting out, and they're great.
I love this track.
It's good, really good.
And you did some really cool production stuff, which I think people will love to mix.
Yeah. I did some fun tricks, so it's not the same old punk that we've always heard.
Yeah, it's really cool. He played me a couple of songs to choose from for a course, and this one kind of really struck me.
Good.
I think people will love it. And the best thing about it is you're going to be mixing it with stock plugins.
Yes, all stock plugins.
So
He threw me a curveball, but I can do it. It's easy.
Well, because I opened up the session and 90% of it was stock plugins. So I was like, if you could just change out these two or three, and
you can do it. I can do it.
perfect.
Yeah.
So two things. Show Us Your Studio has been really successful. We have 4 videos running now, Show Us the Studio. Well, there'll be a 4th one. So please send us some more videos. You can do that. You can send it to Warren at Produce Like a Pro, or you can go to the Facebook and post it on there. So while we're here, I thought, I came out to film this video to talk about Show Us Your Studio, and I was like, he's got all the mics up on his kit. Let's talk about drum miking.
Always mics up.
Okay, so couple of things. I want to ask you, first of all, the D12 VR, the vintage reissue, I see that it's got these different patterns on it, which my old one doesn't.
Yep. So basically EQs. You got an EQ, you can scoop out your mid-range, or you can add a little bit of high end. And I use it in the middle. I get a little the mids I want to get rid of.
So it's like probably that sort of ugly 250, 350, 450, round about 400-ish.
Sounds better. I don't know. I mean, you know
It's
what I mean?
the sounds better control, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things I didn't look it up and research it, but
No.
I plugged it in, I checked the settings, and that I do more on feel more than less on the technical side.
Totally understand. If it sounds better, it is better. And this is an Audio Technica.
No, go back to this though. So I used to, and sometimes I still use this. This is a Sony C500.
Yeah.
This is a really special mic. This mic is similar to that, but it's got this cool openness. It's very unique. You don't see them very much. They have them around.
Yeah.
They're not super expensive, but amazing mic on the outside kick drum. One of the best.
So does it give you that bottom air?
It gives you the air, it gives you the lowness, but it also gives you it's a very real sounding mic. So you get the reality of what a kick drum sounds like. It's not like
fantastic.
all
What's it
bottom.
called?
It's called a Sony C500.
Sony C500.
They're great.
Okay, so next up is the Audio Technica. And the reason why I jumped to that quickly is because we were talking about it earlier on a Q&A, and I had noticed that quite a few people are now starting to mention this, which I think is kind of special.
You know what? It's funny because it's kind of the more modern version of an RE20. It's a little bit more EQ'd, and that's what's cool about it. And they don't make them anymore. They reissued them for a while. I got them a long time ago, and I bought like 4 of them, and I use them for toms, kick drum, bass.
Toms, yeah.
They're great. They're also very similar to a 421, and they're a little smaller, so they fit under your cymbals.
Now, the drums that are going to be on this course, were they recorded with it? They're recorded with this setup?
Yes, this drum kit.
In
Pretty
this room?
sure this drum kit, this room, everything.
Great.
These mics, yep, these mics, identical.
Excellent. So 414s on overheads?
Yep.
How are you setting those? Are you keeping them just in cardioid, or?
Cardioid.
And are you rolling off the lows?
Yes, probably at the 80, I think.
Right, great. That's perfect. So yeah, so these make quite a big appearance, the ATM 25s.
They're the showstopper.
What is this?
This is a Blue microphone. I think, is it called the Bluebird? I don't know. It's a great little mic. The guys from Blue gave it to me, and they said, "Hey, you got to test this out," and I love it. So
I love this idea of the capsule moving.
oh, this is so great. Look at that. You adjust it, so it's awesome.
Fantastic. And is it a dynamic or ribbon or a condenser? What is it?
No, it's the same as it's very similar to the 451.
And so you got the 451 on the hi-hat.
Yep.
57 top.
Yeah.
And what's on your bottom there?
I don't even know. It's some crazy AKG one that's got good high end.
Oh, it's the D310. Yeah, these are great mics.
It's a brighter version. It's brighter than like a 57 or 58. And I've had it forever, and I love it on the bottom snare. It's good. And I'm not big, I don't like a lot of bottom snare, so I like to back this thing off a little bit.
I see, and you're not pointing it directly high
up.
up.
Because you want the ambience. You want to sound, you don't want this.
Right.
I don't like that sound. I like more of a roomness to it, and that gives you a little,
perfect.
this much more depth.
Great. 57 top. As you got, looks like you got a bit of baffle in there just to stop some bleed.
Yeah,
from
I'm trying. You know, the
hat.
hat's always in your snare drum, especially when someone's hitting a little softer. That's it's always your biggest crutch.
What? Any rooms?
I always have rooms. I keep rooms. They're kind of hidden away. There's one over here. The stereo one's over here.
Oh, I see.
Right now, they're kind of not exactly where they'd be.
And what are these?
Those are MXRs.
MXRs.
They're not expensive mics. They were probably $100, but they sound great. They sound great on rooms. That doesn't matter. They're not expensive.
Fantastic.
They're good mics. And a lot of times, for that, I probably have a mono room right here, SM7 or something. I don't know exactly, but
SM7.
So I usually have 3 room mics going all the time.
Now we were talking because we just did a recording where we were able to go back to Sunset Sound and do a Van Halen recording with using the Van Halen session sheets.
Yep.
And the reason why we're talking about it because it was a 57 on the kick and 546s, which are like budget 57s on the snares and the tom tops.
Yeah.
And then they put 421s underneath, and they had 414s as the overheads.
Yeah.
But it's like not unlike what you've got. I mean, a lot of dynamic microphones with they had 3 overheads, and I imagine that's because, Alex's kit was like,
Yeah.
I think he had like 5 or 6 toms and double kicks, so it makes sense to have 3 because they're so spread out. But in general, all inexpensive dynamic microphones.
I think there's a simplicity to these kinds of mics that they're not too hyped in any direction, and that's where you get a very true sound. If you have some of I'm not going to say brands, but some brands that are really bright or dark, you're not getting the trueness so much. For me, I can EQ some bottom and high end, it's easy, but they come pretty close without a lot of EQ. They're straightforward. You're not going to have too much bottom or too much high end. It's going to be
Makes sense.
an even keel, I would say.
And then the other thing with dynamics, tighter polar patterns, less bleed from one mic to another.
Exactly.
As much as we love condensers, I mean, putting 414s on toms I think is quite popular. And hyper, they're pretty good, but still a lot of bleed from...
Especially the kind of records I'm doing where people are hitting hard, the cymbals are crashing all the time. You're going to get so much of that in there that it's just hard to control. You're going to hear whenever you open up your toms.
Well, thanks for showing us the basic miking stuff. Any comments and questions, leave them below. Show us your studio. Post us. Email us. Email us at warren@producelikeapro.com. Go to the Facebook page, producelikeapro.com, and post your videos. You can do videos or you can send us stills and we will create some more videos. Thanks very much. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. See you again soon.